Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Uh, Always ready to jump into a new case study.
All right. Well, today we're tackling a real-world e-commerce puzzle.
Intriguing.
It involves a large retail chain in India.
Okay.
They sell electronics and durables,
Yeah.
like TVs, refrigerators, washing machines, that kind of thing.
Yeah, big ticket items.
Exactly. And they were facing some serious challenges with their operations.
So, what kind of challenges are we talking about?
Well, they carry a massive selection of products, over 500 to be precise,
Yeah.
from more than 40 different brands.
Wow, that's a lot to manage.
It is. And to handle all of that, they're using Salesforce CRM, which makes sense for a business of their size.
Yeah, Salesforce is pretty standard these days.
Right. But here's the catch. Their Salesforce system wasn't integrated with any of the brand's systems.
So no direct communication between the retailer and the brands?
It was all manual.
Oof, I can already see where this is going. Lots of manual data entry, I bet.
You got it.
Yeah.
They had a whole team, 12 to 14 people dedicated to this very tedious task.
Wow, that's a lot of manpower.
It was. And just imagine their day downloading Excel files from Salesforce, then manipulating them with macros to fit each brand's format.
Man, sounds like a recipe for errors.
It was. And then they had to send those files off to each individual brand through different portals or emails.
Talk about a logistical nightmare.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
They then had to constantly follow up with each brand for updates and manually input those responses back into Salesforce.
Ugh, and they were doing all of this how often?
6 times a day.
You're kidding, 6 times a day. That's insane.
It was completely unsustainable, especially because this retailer had ambitious plans to expand their offerings.
So bringing in even more brands.
Exactly. But scaling up with this manual process would mean hiring even more people and skyrocketing their costs.
Yeah, they desperately needed a solution, and that's where Autosmic comes in.
Right. And what's fascinating about Autosmic is that they didn't just automate tasks within a single system.
No, they thought outside the box.
They actually bridged the gap between the retailer's Salesforce CRM and all those disparate brand systems.
Clever.
So how did they do it? What was their secret sauce?
Well, they didn't wave a magic wand, but they did deploy something pretty ingenious.
Okay, I'm all ears.
A system of bots.
Bots, like little digital workers.
Exactly. Let's take Hitachi, one of the brands, as an example.
Okay.
Autosmic built a bot specifically to interact with Hitachi's systems.
So a Hitachi specialist bot.
You could say that this bot sends data to Hitachi through their REST API.
REST API, like a digital language.
Yeah, think of it as a way for different computer systems to talk to each other.
Hi.
And the bot neatly stores the response from Hitachi in an Excel file.
So it's like a digital messenger zipping information back and forth between systems.
Precisely. And that's just the first step.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They used a 3-pronged approach.
3 bots.
Yeah.
Why not just one super bot?
Well, sometimes breaking down a complex process into smaller chunks actually makes the automation more efficient and reliable.
Okay, that makes sense. So what do the other 2 bots do?
They had a second bot that constantly pulls status information from Hitachi's API.
Keeping things up to date.
Exactly. And that information is used to update the initial Excel file.
Got it. And then the 3rd bot.
The third bot takes all that updated information from the Excel file and feeds it straight back into Salesforce.
So it's like a continuous loop of data flowing between systems, all orchestrated by these bots.
Precisely. A seamless flow of information.
Wow, that's impressive. But I'm curious to know more about how they built these bots and what makes Autosmic's platform so special.
Well, that's a great segue into the next part of our deep dive.
Perfect. Let's take a closer look at the technology behind Autosmic's solution and how it stacks up against the competition.
All right, let's do it. So you're probably wondering what makes Autosmic's approach so unique.
Yeah, I mean, building bots is one thing, but making sure they can actually talk to all these different systems, that's a whole other challenge, right?
Absolutely. And that's where Autosmic really shines. Their platform is incredibly versatile.
Versatile how?
Well, for starters, they can interface with just about any web application portal you can throw at them.
Okay, so Salesforce Hitachi's portal. What about custom-built portals? Can they handle those too?
No problem. They can even integrate with any REST or SOAP API you can think of.
Wow. So they're not limited to any specific technology or system?
Nope. They've designed their platform to be as open and flexible as possible.
That's impressive. But what about security? Especially when you're dealing with sensitive customer data.
You're right. Security is paramount, and Autosmic has taken that very seriously.
So how do they ensure data security?
Well, for one, all the processing happens locally on the retailer's machines.
So the data never leaves their own systems.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is a huge plus for security-conscious businesses. They also offer integration with things like Microsoft Credential Service and Vault for added protection.
Okay, so they've got the security aspect covered.
Mhm.
What about the ease of use? Building these automations, does that require a team of programmers?
Not at all. That's another area where Autosmic stands out. They've made it incredibly easy to build and manage these automations. Even someone with limited coding experience could do it.
Really?
Yeah. They have a drag and drop interface for creating workflows. Think of it like building with virtual Lego blocks.
So no need to write lines and lines of code.
Exactly. It's all about visual programming and intuitive design. They've really focused on making automation accessible to a wider audience.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the technology, the security, the ease of use.
Uh-huh.
What about the results? Did this bot-powered system actually make a difference for the retailer?
Oh, absolutely. The results were phenomenal.
Tell me more.
Well, remember how they had a team of over a dozen people manually handling this process?
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Right. Well, with Autosmic, they were able to develop and deploy a proof of concept for the Hitachi brand in just 1 month.
1 month. That's incredibly fast.
It is, and based on that success, they're now in the process of integrating all 40 brands.
So they're going all in on automation.
Yes. And it makes sense. The benefits are undeniable. They're on track to significantly reduce their operational costs, eliminate those manual errors, and ultimately provide a much better experience for their customers.
It sounds like a win-win for everyone involved. But I have to ask, this whole idea of bots and automation, it can seem a bit daunting for companies that are new to this. Was it a steep learning curve for the retailer's team?
That's a great question, and it's something that Autosmic understands very well. They know that adopting new technology can be challenging.
So what do they do to help the retailer?
They provide comprehensive training and support. They don't just throw the software over the wall and say good luck. They work closely with their clients every step of the way. They offer hands-on training, customized implementation plans, and ongoing support to make sure the transition is as smooth as possible.
So it's more of a partnership approach.
Absolutely. They're invested in their client's success.
That's great to hear. Now, I know we've been focusing on this specific e-commerce case study, but this idea of automating data flow, it has implications far beyond this one retailer, right?
Absolutely. This is just a tip of the iceberg.
Mm.
Autosmic has identified over 20 different use cases for their platform across a wide range of industries.
Like what?
Everything from banking and healthcare to manufacturing and logistics, you name it.
So their technology can be applied to all sorts of business challenges.
Exactly. And it's not just about automating tasks, it's about transforming entire business processes.
That's exciting. But with so many RPA solutions out there, what sets Autosmic apart from the competition? Why not just go with a big name like UiPath?
That's a fair question. UiPath is certainly a major player, but Autosmic offers a unique set of advantages that might be more appealing to certain businesses.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, for instance, one of Autosmic's key strengths is its local execution model.
You meaning?
All the processing happens directly on the client's machines.
So no need to rely on the cloud or a constant internet connection.
Right, which can be a big deal for industries with strict data security requirements or limited internet access.
Makes sense. Anything else?
They also have a serverless architecture, which means you can scale your automation efforts up or down seamlessly without having to worry about managing servers.
Sounds pretty flexible.
It is, and I think one of the things that really sets Autosmic apart is their focus on simplicity and user-friendliness.
We touched on that earlier.
Right. Their platform empowers both business users and developers to create and manage automations without needing a PhD in computer science.
So it's like they're democratizing automation.
Yeah.
Making it accessible to everyone.
Exactly. And that's a powerful thing.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the challenges this Indian retailer was facing, their incredibly manual processes, and how Autosmic stepped in with a pretty elegant solution.
And we even touched upon how this approach to automation can be applied across various industries.
Yeah, it's not just about e-commerce. It's about any business that's dealing with data flow challenges.
Exactly. And I think the key takeaway here is that automation is becoming increasingly accessible.
It's no longer just for those big corporations with massive IT budgets.
Right. Solutions like Autosmic are making it possible for businesses of all sizes to leverage the power of automation.
And the benefits are pretty clear. Increased efficiency, reduced costs, happier customers.
Not to mention the freedom for employees to focus on more strategic work.
Yeah, it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And I think it's worth asking yourself this. How can automation help you transform your business?
What processes can you streamline? What challenges can you overcome?
It's really about embracing the possibilities and seeing how these technologies can help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And if you're curious to learn more about Autosmic and how they might be able to help your business,
I definitely recommend checking out their website.
they have tons of resources, case studies, and information on their various solutions.
It's a great way to get a better understanding of what they do and how they approach automation.
Well, I think we've done a pretty thorough deep dive into the world of e-commerce automation.
Yeah, I'd say so. We covered a lot of ground.
Thanks for joining us today and sharing your insights.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about automation.
And for our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep automating. We'll see you on our next deep dive.